Kane sempa de brane mamba obi so
Masomo asempa 94.7 FM Ekosiisen dwumadi no asoguso a utie no ma yenam wasene a matwen ye amayetimi akọ aba earlier yedemoko parliament mamokotie the presentation of the mid-year budget review statement by the Honorable Mohammed Amin Anta ono the minister in charge of finance and Motese or the statement no etudwa e parliament wa kan sem bebre na ye baba be di hon komo so de kan you know would be speaking to the Honorable Andrew Egyapa Mercer and the Honorable John Jinapor into nyina ye nkomo a ye behwe na ye di na wie ansana ye de dwumedi na be wie ansana no ensem de bi o ho ye se memamu nyina amasote. And we'll be speaking to our parliamentary correspondent as well in Timon and so. But before that, Mebambo Life Insurance on MTN and a telesale, a free Hollard Life Insurance, Hona Abba. Mebambo Life Insurance, MTN and a telesale, and a Hollard and a Kabum, the insurance policy bro. Now almost stay ready for unexpected funerals, say accidental disability, a car was hanyo me hunti ye bia bampo fremu ana se nyame mfasa ma obebi ana esen bia to ama wenya some form of disability me pa chaw the Hollard eka and say me Bimbo Life Insurance ebe show Come. And the man was so cry because with as little as 2 Ghana cedis, 10 Ghana cedis, 25 Ghana cedis, or 50 Ghana cedis per month, you can get up to 30,000 Ghana cedis for funeral and accidental disability cost. Inti ode kakra etohwa bibi toa yebema as much as 30,000. Imagine say ode 2 Ghana as I say 10 Ghana cedis eto every month. Na bibia to ne yema 30,000 Ghana cedis nefa ehwe. You just have to dial *269# *269# na wa register on MTN and I say telesale or the Ghana card number na be register na automatic monthly deductions ne betimi akoso ye be ye through mobile money wallet which train say ebia every month obese wo no tua 10 cedis a bosumi bia automatically ye beti every mobile money wallet no eso kama na unim say on this policy no you can add as many as 7 biological dependents to cover your spouse, your children, parents, grandparents, or even your in-laws. You know, no stress at all because your claim process is very quick. Get more asumji with Hollard Life Mebambo and live your best life. It's insurance made for you. Terms and conditions apply. The message said you take advantage of this glorious opportunity. A Hollard Insurance ede amayin into way every Hollard Life Assurance and the Mebambo Life Insurance on MTN and a telesale. And please take advantage na nioma enkoye. Unim say assembly ho se mehwe na me de to manim na we dey asem here into you asum ne tie ne ye emame. Shoppers and textile lovers. Ghana Revenue Authority added a textile tax stamp aba. July 1st in ye share say textile tax stamp. Na stamp we no ebe protect wu nyuma mo a moye shoppers na mo pe textile, you know, in Tomai the pam tare ne ade no. It is stamp when will protect your jobs and your livelihoods from illicit trading, counterfeiting, and smuggling. Because then only a mammy no me ton to my Jumne Kasa. The Omusu one say, oh, a man for Fagana designs the China near Kuchan to many be near the big gumi. I born for 4 into a modiana cry and I say Jano and more yen to many be Ghana have from GTP ni ATL or more can only wounding comma. That is a major issue. Egu Numa ewa Ghana. Inti GRA say and Nasan Shahai, they've intervened. Now almost the textile tax stamp papa. Into the Omo can say sa tax stamp we na be bo nyuma ho ban na amanfo nso aduane a ense etimi ko wan ano nso abɔ ho ban illicit trade na ekoso won toma adwumanim counterfeit and smuggle ni nyina eto e ba betwa we no mo se enye tax. It is not a tax, just a compliance measure to protect the textiles industry or Ghana way and yet 12 for a buying at the airba. The GRA can say we no just complain here who tax stamp ni bi on toma ho it is toma we na original Ghana hey an toma papa enye de obi akotwa ni fake efram no ne ede aba. And once we see the textile tax stamp no e won toma no how to move we de e toma papa. You know, enti the omubu san say yema mu say product are affected a fasa textile tax stamp we no in here. All African prints nyina are included. Look out for the green border for domestic product, red border for import, and blue for the transition period. You know, remember, look for the textile tax stamp when you buy. Protect our local industry and jobs. For importers and manufacturers, register and get your stamps at your nearest GRA office or online at gratextilestaxstamp.com. gratextilestaxstamp.com. And for sellers who have such textile print already in their shops, kindly contact your suppliers for your blue stamps. Please note, it is an offense to display, buy, or sell products without the stamp. Enforcement begins on July 1st, 2020. The enforcement requires the ashas here that. In the other cotton to maybe make sure transition period, you know, blue stamp and a ubehu. Ba se omuria afe ubehu say intuma eye wo Ghana ha domestic one papa na a green border and a ubehu. Say imported and so ubehu red. And a transition period, they say, Mbrana fe ne ye and kakanka kasa de beya fake ones na was system ni nyina be free no be atene ho ase se sia de ade fofora abani no omu use blue stamp for this transition period. We be who blue stamp on tomano no say entoma papa. The year Kenya say kai say no stamp don't buy. And say well who stamp no on tomano ho amento boa na we enye adwuma na ye nuanom ye adwuma in textile ko mo e fantoma e free GTP ni ATL ni ade ton no mo nso enya adwuma enye ebeboa papa in the adofo no mama ye nyina ye nhye ne nso enra me de tudwa ma mo se enne Ghana fo bebre na eya na wo pese wo de nyoma free Ghana ekoma wo nuanom e wa abruchire wo maame no wo papa no mo abruchire na eya na ekwan wo de befa so akọ na ye problem obi won so wo Ghana ha na opese ye man nyoma free amanone ye de ba na akwa ye nsem bebre it really complicated and sometimes very stressful but and a Tridol Express aba almost omo the fastest way to ship anything from Ghana abroad or from abroad to Ghana, and that is through Tridol Express. It is any why just opposite sending BB Kwaman on it, and as opposite ye did BB Framan on it a brew Ghana ha Tridol Express the bebrel within 3 to 5 working days. 3 to 5 working days. Inti muntie ni ye mame say ene o sending your free Ghana kwam na ne boy den dodo and a process near to cumbersome menstru Tridol Express aba at the amount. They would make sure say process be seamless and affordable. Whether you are sending packages abroad, buying from online stores in the US of A, Tridol Express will deliver to your doorsteps here in Ghana. Na and you know almost say bia wono wuni obi obeton your man no amano ne ama okro mo no betimi aton your man ama. They can even do the shopping on your behalf through their proxy shopping service. Your items are secured as you can track your packages in real time. It is almost shaping your man's near bar, me track your phone. So you just have to download Tridol Express app. No, na odi say jumani here papa. Get the app from iOS and as a Google Play Store. Now also fedi juma frewon 0535 195 353 0535 195 353 and at 0303 956 733 for all your shipping enquiries. At Tridol Express, shipping is made simple, fast, and reliable. Into momi yenina yenhye so Ekosiisen so ni be to Midyear Budget Review Statement I would say and over ho adwenkyra your WhatsApp number no enie 0548 443 523 for messages brain 0548 443 523 na yentie unso enewie. Let me see if I've got some messages na fe menyimre na menkan nyina emfa emamo me pacho bo modern sa unso do de ebebre mo amohwe o Facebook any YouTube no, so you can post your comments there and then I'll share them with the rest of the world. We say Obi, good afternoon. 7.5 years in power, the NPP government led by Akufo-Addo couldn't build just a single hospital in this country. Where are the Agenda 111 hospitals they promised us during COVID-19 period? MPP is heading to opposition. Nothing can save them. The next future NDC will restore Ghana to its rightful path. Kwame na acidity have for Kwame, I'm not sure your first point is factual. The point about they not building even a single hospital, that cannot be true. I mean, there are some hospitals across, apart from even Agenda 111. I've seen a couple of those hospitals as well. Let me see. We say Obi over. Also, my name is Harry, and I would like to draw your attention to a criminal, deadly, and illegal repatriation ongoing in the UAE currently. Obi, people are being repatriated in secret as I type now, and I can confidently say with proof that these are people living there legally. Okay. Some are being killed and others we don't know about their whereabouts. Please help and let the world hear about our ordeal. Some of us have lost all our life savings and even personal documents. We've labored for 7 years and more. Over 5,000 Ghanaians are affected, I can say. Really? Over 5,000 Ghanaians in UAE who are being repatriated? Wow. That's huge. Anyways, ma mention afi ye shasi ini enkomo Honorable Andrew Egyapa Mercer ewo ahomane so for na wasanko ne Honorable John Jinapor join here studio by time because of the delay in the presentation of the budget statement and review statement and omuwie was say omudi djuma kakra nso parliament county would have to do the interview on phone. Honorable Egyapa Mercer abekansa Honorable akwa bana pom to then Yaminado na Mercer Midyear Budget Review. Ojikan, why did it take that long? The delay no yabada.
Onyo obia. Nje we devo mafu ondodo. Na mu yisu ndanka na ma baka sana eja. Ya church zo mu kakrama tifa what ye nka actually na no what ye nka but make sure that as the days go by, you bring your brain now.
Sure.
Meaning exactly what the issue was, but Matsi there was the Union NDC. Ebeke, Adano President Obama State of the Nation address was a common fund that USB Zengia my President of the State of the Nation address. I'm being told that that's exactly what happened again today. What is finance minister, this is assembly common fund administrator with your common fund now. Now won't be my minister on reading the Midyear Review Budget as enjoined by the Constitution and the Public Financial Management Act. But I'm there, it's as I'm told that some funds have been paid in the OPV Wema. Finance minister Obey Nijuma, requiring the Lord obey.
Okay, into the main reason from what you gather, and say na MPs they say omope common fund. Say you release and son of my finance minister Abekasa.
Primarily, you know
yes.
And we know the issues. Of course, from bill to bill from 1992. This is Assembly Common Fund or delay. Then depending on the influence now ban. And I'm really sure finance will release the funds in accordance with the constitutional requirements.
Mm-hmm.
And then that some monies have been released. It was going through the motions before it gets paid, hopefully by Friday. But they were insisting I'm told the finance minister, non administrator of common fund, and leadership will share, and ultimately, the finance minister there, Parliament started something yeah.
And that I believe accounted for the almost 4-hour delay in presenting this.
Especially for those who are ministers.
Yes.
It tends to waste the whole day. They program meetings and them early. Number chamber. But there was a focus meeting amongst the majority side, which took some time. And the expectation with the meeting number start 11. That's certain. And I deferred most of my meetings this afternoon. But that's it is except one that Western region hope
and eventually the finance minister stepped up to deliver the statement. Mosha, or a 33-page document, 166 paragraphs. What highlight, listening to him, what was the highlight for you or them statement him?
Oh, highlight in the P. Was then the many a time, Etsy, the union and before Casa. Also, the nap at the Donko Akuva, the Naban we feel Obe Onyaki, Sabu, Yanisika, some Aquacho, Katra, and actually, even the concluding part, the various achievements are abandoned over the past 8 years. Then it tells you that, some are many after all, why did because these are all matters of fact. Obi, actually, the social intervention policies are we roll out, will impact the vulnerable people in our community, especially relative to what Union and this was want to have more back where. Then clearly that call for them to return to power is unfounded. Then the issue Juma Nanado Danko Akufo the why free SHS, capitation grant, LEAP, nursing and teacher training allowance. Now, no one can and some infrastructure in all sectors, health, roads, schools, name them. Everywhere, the government has impacted Ghana positively. Because of the mindset Abano adopting, mindset of possibilities, that even in the midst of the crisis, or affected the entire world, Aban interventions or rolling out, Ghana Punya home for so. Now, I don't know if I could bother almost the home wasn't pop. Obi, Yensuka some many a time lawyer on politics will see and I agent corner to one the and though I yesterday the dad of go to Abama. What really were the issues? Aban Oba Nana Branco Akufa Oba
Semper FM
and I Ghana your IMF program. Former President Mahama went to more manage the economy. In fact, reasons one may know being downturn of the Chinese economy. No Mexico pay IMF. He told us that we are down to the bone. Unemployment was at its highest. We were sleeping in darkness with the sun for 4 solid years. Nana do danko Akufo-Addo ba abelmo. Oboto dam IMF program. In fact, in a benchmark, Yanya IMF I agree now 18 months after commencement of the program, yet we achieve 1. It's no big there or there Abano extend just so that we can meet those benchmarks the economy is back into a good position. And the Aban took a decision to extend the program by 1 year. And now, about today, energy sector, cover the whole bro. Banking sector crisis. Say Aban will do one amara. Then economy will collapse. And what did government do? Aban kept FM. Those energy sector debt down. And also pay Busa or we provide the bailout. I'm a 4.6 million Ghanaians and will scar other banks now one shot. Then almost immediately we finish that Nana COVID-19 bubble we are seeing now. Abandoned revenues is significantly impacted. The expenditures cost so. Nana Duranko take a decision there. Ghana for way in Dombrembe. The primary preoccupation is the well-being of the Ghanaian people. Economic management, yes, but as economic management, economic indicators, now one call for walk or homa. And I Jumana and so no focus on protecting Ghana for one livelihood. So he borrowed extensively, knowing very well that them account air bono or the instruction do baba or the how baba, but at least would have had lives. Now, because of those underlying conditions of energy sector debt, no need banking sector crisis, to the point no, now they go through a certain process. Yes, about restructure yen debt. And Zaban will take a decision that look, Odamoko IMF program as CBM was then there. Them a how you about talk yen do. Yes, the count be already. Now COVID-19, no the Kahuna Russia and Ukraine war. You can yen internal generated policies be not and I can see deal with that. No so okay. You live in the passage, you know some of the federal parliament. So it became necessary. Now, is the total debt of Ghana from Nakwame Nkrumah build, of course, President before the time, you're epic. And from me and President Mills, only President Mahama Obey, they came to aggregate the debt up. Because of these extraneous circumstances, Aban obey no. Aban had to borrow some additional money to protect all of us. And see, while restructuring, you negotiate domestic debt. Yes, was a how Brankofu, no doubt. It's brought a lot of suffering. Osan then one coupon I expect Aban when you want to negotiate what follow. Obian the principal was affecting to some para, but the more expected inflow were impacting. True. But it was necessary. Yako negotiate an external debt so. You make savings on the debt cancellations together in the region of some $8 billion US. In the midst of all that achievements, finance minister outlined in the stability I generate in terms of the inflation rate, the exchange rate, and longer down. Brother, the future is bright too. The future is bright.
Okay.
Even though one risk for we put economy no performance of government in proper perspective. Magana Fuida what the reality and the truth and the facts are. I'm waiting some that they will take a decision in December and retain the NPP government in power. We will continue the good work that has been clearly unequivocal, unambiguous. Ibiya to me this challenge Ibiya. Obi.
We will be into some of the specific answer. Merba. O colleague, Honorable John Jinapor Homanado. JJ Akwaba, what then? JJ, Bibi Ekoye.
Oh, Kaka Travina.
Yeah, Danyamia say. Minister Eka said, economy no are rebounded. We are doing 4.7% GDP growth, which he thinks good. I mean, we've turned the curve. Nioma Ekoye said the Honorable Mercer Ekayano. I've been watching with minority leader in Parliament press conference. No, because the NPP government is bereft of new ideas. Bibi Ohobiana Mopesa Motia Mwanti in this statement, Anna.
Oh, that's it. First of all, figures there so they don't lie. So what figures maybe what's the rate of unemployment today?
It's around 14%.
14%,
Sure.
Hello?
Yeah, Honorable, yes, and 14%.
It's in double digits,
yes, 14%, yes.
See the depreciation. Just this few 2 quarters, they're 18%.
Mm-hmm.
In 2016, the city depreciation against the dollar was about 7%. So 2016, Muhammad time.
Asempa FM.
JJ Mpatotemenka.
Which was 8 cities.
Hello? Hello?
8 cities.
Okay. Too bad. JJ, minim baby ujina uchia ho kakra mamia. Too bad. We've lost Ediebe hwe ne yasenya JJ bio. Honorable Mercer Mpoto ho a. You've listened to how our colleague was start clearly the devil is in the detail. Data audio go doesn't really look good. And
Obi, there's no dispute. They are going to economic challenges, and maximum make the young economic challenges. After all, young through economic challenges and take a young quiet. And
that's true.
Now, Munya John Jinapor, Unya Butero. Now, exchange rate recorded it be out, right? So then okay, it's been my reference kakra.
Okay, while you look at the data, no, JJ Abahomano maintain na yaba I Mpocho. Good. JJ Mpacho to asoma me.
Me say 2016, the whole year depreciation of the currency now about 7%. And next year no, just 2 quarters echo. Currency net depreciated by 18%. Already now currency net depreciated over 30% to 50%. And by currency depreciation, no, normally currency depreciates so much. In the subsequent years, your current account balance will improve because currency now depreciating. No, the money more buoyant in terms of imports, and yet just 2 quarters, your currency is depreciated by 18%. Is that an improvement? You call that an improvement? That is, I am saying so. Yeah, Obi, you can deny about the cost of living.
Yes.
You can't say CDI improving inflation above from economy net grow to the ordinary Ghanaian. And I don't want to get too technical. Need anything to quote your man at the same. In 2016, the minimum wage was 8 cedis. Don't multiply by 27, and that's why you do it 27 days. You could buy 2 bags of rice. A bag of rice was 100 cedis. You can check from Ghana Statistical Service. And the minimum wage increased it to 18 cedis. We are Juma 27 days. Sika ubenyano. And then at the price of 480 to 500 cedis a bag of rice, you can't even buy 1 bag of rice. Look, that's the simplest way to look at the cost of living. If you pass inherit way, and even says, "Oh, mama inheriting the debt na cost."
Yeah.
So when you inherit an economy, you inherit assets and liabilities.
Sure.
This is the only government that almost $8 billion of oil revenue. President Akufo-Addo oil revenues more than double what President Mahama and President Mills got. This is a government when there are about 44 billion in energy sector levies. President Mahama did not get even up to 3 billion. This is a government, although we acquire debt exchange. He's proud say we have defaulted, and you've gone there to tell them that they should take a haircut. How many countries in Africa? Because Ghana is not an island. COVID save lives. Togo save lives. Cote d'Ivoire save lives. Nigeria save lives. So it's not as if it's peculiar to Ghana. And then a young Kwandia in our attempt to save lives, despite taking $200 million from the stabilization fund of President Mahama and borrowing $13 billion, more than 4 or 3 times what President Mahama and President Mills borrowed. No, you are defaulting. Mother, this economy is in shambles. This economy is in tatters. Our inflation rate 20-something%. When you were taking over, the inflation was 15%. Look, every indicator, take all the indicators. We'll take you over from President Mahama. Today, it is worse than President Mahama. How come Cote d'Ivoire is doing better? How come Senegal is doing better? How come Kenya, Ethiopia, Uganda, Rwanda, even Rwanda, what all Rwanda, they are doing better than Ghana? The growth rate for the sub-Saharan region, and you don't just compare yourself, say, 2013 it was worse, and it's better than 2013. No, 2023 rather. Bank of Ghana pumped over 50 billion cedis into the economy. You know it, Obi, you know it. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, the quantity theory of money, people say that you're going to have the hyperinflation we saw. It is a high Debbie. Now zero financing. Yeah, Mama will borrow you. Now bet that 22%. You can't pat yourself on the back and say, why are they? Look at the cost of living today. And you say that everything is in the right direction, Egyapa. And I think you were 2016 man, even were under President Mahama, the ordinary Ghanaian would have bought a gallon of fuel for 14 cedis. A liter, not a gallon. You can't liter, you can't fry to bottle no back. It's more expensive than a gallon of fuel under President Mahama. Meanwhile, your minimum wage, which is the criteria to assess everybody's base income, no, is much, much lower, and the purchasing power has reduced compared to President Mahama. It is done for. There's every indication say the Mahama-led economic team, when we're handing over, the economy was far, far better than it is today. This was so-called COVID. It doesn't come in. The energy sector debt. In 2023, and I'll send you the document, savings from Mahama's gas, Atobo gas, no, $1.3 billion, just 1 year. This is official. So when you are looking at Kadawa, also look at the benefit and at the cost savings. Government, you take both liabilities and you take assets. And clearly, giving assets Abba, giving Sika Abba, giving Yema Yenyano, this government has proven to be the worst government in this country. And me, I maintain this, right? Over. Mm-hmm. But the international community, the investor community, is lost complete confidence in the Baumia-led economic management team. The only way is to reset this government and to reset this country. Now, at least some modicum of trust the share system. Behind you, they are buying the Kabia last 2 weeks. So, okay, finance minister say, Wakonya 360 million from IMF into which what the currency.
Yes, so
start watching the currency from tomorrow. Since he said that, the currency continues to depreciate. Recently, just last week, you increasing fuel prices because of the depreciation of the currency. Here, second of all, Omonama, Opa, and Niama Ebesata. Oh, your finance minister Becca say, when you have $360 million, into addiction, we should watch the currency. The situation is getting worse even after the assurance. What are the assurance can Egyapa give us? When your own finance minister can't take him by his word. Your own finance minister, because when you announce we should watch the currency, it's getting worse. Look, mother, you people should realize that you had a very good opportunity. You messed it up. You blew it. Propaganda will not help you. With this lackluster, abysmal performance, you will surely go home, Egyapa.
Honorable Mercer. Mpocho, JJ. What reactions in Mpocho na membrane?
There's a comparison between 2016 and now. They don't extend it to 2009. It's just what 2009.
Yeah.
And that's what I've done.
That's not what you've done. You've done 2016 and today. I'm saying there, say a better analysis there whether indeed MPP has performed abysmally relative to your side. You go back to when you took over the economy. 2014, depreciation of the city was 32%. So a complaint about 18. I'm not saying 18 is best. No. Because after all, in 2019, 2020, we're doing in the region of 7 and 5 depreciation. But 2020 was a significant year. Obi, I say COVID, Obeno or Afetobia. Number 3.
Obi, did I say that?
Oh, yes, you said the affected everything.
Also affected.
Obi, did I say that?
No, okay, say other countries are doing well even with COVID. Why is our case different?
I said COVID affected everybody, including other countries.
Sure.
If you are the host, correct it.
Sure.
But I haven't said anything different.
Okay, Mr. Mpocho, Trado, ma'am.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, I admittedly, Ghana is on underlying conditions. And America, I cited the energy sector debt and then also the banking sector. Obi. Now, Argentina, Togo, Benin, and Nigeria, all them problems with you.
Asempa FM.
Obi.
No.
Nigeria, Togo, Benin are a near compare when they didn't have an energy sector crisis. They had not slept in that net for 4 years. They did not owe IPPs in their countries. Their government didn't have to go and borrow to pay any such debt. But we did. And so, with that, impact on COVID on Ghana can certainly not be the same as Togo, Benin, and Nigeria. It can never be. It's an analysis. Obi, again, of the 350 million, and finance minister okay there because of the release of the second tranche.
Yes.
And on World Bank releases the watch the CD from tomorrow. Immediately thereafter, the ranking member on the finance committee, I was not getting a very unpatriotic statement that go ahead and buy the dollar. In fact, for people who don't even need it. Obi, interesting. Also, Nana Danko Akufo-Addo inherited debt and assets. Now, Nana Danko Akufo-Addo debt our contract on Onja assets there. Obi. Now, in your best of economic performance, NDC for what they have Mr. Mahama away. Obi Mpocho, Emo one share and same circle between 2012 and 2016. Get the summa. Because it cannot be that it was a result of generation. Because it was not. We had excess capacity during that period.
But them,
why?
Them argument is
because you had a challenge with buying fuel.
You
didn't have money to buy fuel from Nigeria when the from alternative sources. Abra West African gas pipeline knock off.
Yeah, but Honorable, I think we've had this argument before. We agreed there. Maybe we agreed there. Finance was an issue, but generation was also a major issue.
The generation issue when I have the data, I'll send it to you.
No.
Generation or issue.
Ross, if you measure it against our demand or increase.
Yes, there was a bit of draft on Akosombo excess.
Oh yeah, my chance. Yeah.
Okay, me that's it.
I have the data. Okay, information on your phone. Oh yeah, it poses a little bit of difficulty. But I'm 1 second that we pull Ministry of Energy document here or analyze the generation for the period between 2009 through to 2024.
Bar graphs bina.
You will see clearly that all between that period, there was excess installed capacity available.
You are peddling falsehood. We had that discussion in the studio.
No, John, I mean, was sending. Hello, Honorable Egyapa Mercer. No, I have that document. So I'll forward that. The day we had this debate, for them.
You will do it. Yeah. Everybody watch that program. Whatever you take it away, cry. You will do it.
Yes.
I'll send you the video, not just the audio.
Yes.
Yeah, but 2012, there was dependable capacity of 2045.
Obi, you want to go into this today?
Peak demand of
he's brought it up now. Let him finish.
174.
Yes.
2013, there was dependable capacity of 2485. There was peak demand of 1943. Excess.
We can do energy sector debate at another time. This is a budget. There was
dependable capacity of 2567. Peak demand of 1970. Excess of 597. 2015, 3,337 dependable, 1933 peak demand, excess of 1404. The main being now near this moon.
Okay.
All this period were sleeping in darkness. On top of it, the expert economic management of Mr. Mahama, we were under an IMF program. Obi, Andrew Egyapa for the India expertise without a global pandemic. Why did they take us to IMF? Yet they say that Nana Dodonko Akufo-Addo, who has gone to IMF under a global pandemic, is worse than them. Now, the logic no or Obi. Mr. Damu rationale no or I'm saying we don't face difficulty, no doubt.
Yes.
President can, Finance Minister can, Mama can, Obia wa Belimbia Ojitum, the Yako how in terms of our finances, no doubt. Now, yes, the reasons on me is it doubting those reasons? Assuming that doubt them reasons. When he was in government, the government also was now back.
Asempa FM.
Because indicator comparison from 2016 to 2024, without going back to 2009 when they took over, where the dollar was 0.8 or 0.9 to the cedi, and when they were living that depreciated in excess of how much percentage? Fuel prices were what price in 2009? So let's do the content analysis. And now, man, Ghana full said here when you go IMF, India expert economic management. The rate of unemployment then. What are we talking about?
Yeah, but he mentions the fact that now it is 14 against when you took over at 8.
I'm not going to challenge. I'm saying that yes, it's true. But policy are rolling out.
Yes.
Even under the 1B1F program alone, created 170,000 workers jobs for Ghanaian youth. Abeni Bay jobs in Kotia were created. It's in excess of 2 million. Vice President has announced it on multiple occasions. Previous finance ministers have mentioned it without challenge. So what are we saying? Look, current economic circumstances, like I say, it is not debt of Akufo-Addo or your debt of Ghana, including Bosa, Mr. Mahama, or Boy, also assets. Nana do not Akufo-Addo no assets. But the concluding section, I been Georgia. For that time, no be able to we put into one say into Bayman I. The investment in social what you call it intervention alone. There are so-called free SHS here, Mr. Mahama, no advert on Coco Sinos and here. In no kitchen, no introduce you the 43 million cities. At the time, we office the way we release only 12. Check how much money government has put in that sector alone to ensure that Ghanaians, vulnerable Ghanaians, when you offer capitation grant, which was 5 cities when they were in government, and feeding how many people? 230,000. Check the numbers today. 15 cities, 3 times, and feeding millions of Ghanaian children. Check school feeding. These are impactful programs that benefit the desperate, the underprivileged, we in Ghana. Check investment in roads. Check hospitals. And hospitals were abandoning over the period that President Kufuor started, that they abandoned for 8 years. It's all there. Agenda 111. They are not investments, they are not assets. So let it not look as if though they are not being on your assets. Assets are banway general. Look at the budget statement today. Obi, not can be man.
Mate, I'll just do that. Yeah, JJ.
Where the Japan is simple. First one was say capitation grant increased by 3 times, and I'm a boy.
Yes, from 5 to 15.
Yes, if prices have increased by 5 times, what's the benefit?
Asempa FM.
That's the question. You must get it right. If that one city could buy, say, 1 egg, now we're increasing it 3 times. I don't got 3 cities. If an egg has increased from 1 city to 5 cities, the person is worse off. So you don't do this analysis just like that. You find out, say, yes, wages have gone up. But what is the magnitude of price increment? And that is why I did the analysis to you. That the ordinary worker is worse off today than under President Mahama. But I'm very happy to see you in 2009. Obi, I'm doing some analysis. Tomorrow I'll send it to you. 8-year period, 2009 to 2016. 2017 to 2024. Average inflation, average growth rates, average depreciation, average and you see who did better. And I'm about
Asempa FM.
Yeah, that
also, Obi, did we ever default? Did we ever default under President Mahama? President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia will go down in history. The only government in the 4th Republic. What defaulted? You've defaulted, though. Which means you are declaring with junk. And you are here defending this. We're with you at Mensvik, Nebua. When all the power sector players came, Obi, I will forward the report signed by the Chairman Atachia. And you, Chairman Atachia, and the signing report, no. Now, I wouldn't get a Romano. President. Chairman Atachia's report states that from January, you've been shedding load because you don't have money to buy fuel. Let Egyapa deny that. He's on the line. Let him deny that, and I'll forward the report to you. He was there. That's what you know. If or capacity, would demand that. Why have you been shedding load since January? And what kind of analysis is this? Since January, they've been shedding load because only Sika will be to fuel. Okra energy sector debt. Mata, Togo, Benin, Rwanda, Senegal. Come to see Amibu now. Did they get crude oil revenues of 8 billion? Did they borrow 13.5 billion? Did they get COVID levy? Did they get financial sector levy? Did they get pollution levy? Did they get energy sector recovery levy? These are all levies that you put on the Ghanaian. Okay? And now IMF. IMF now when you can. When we told you, say Enyama again, 2022, Yanko IMF. What did Dr. Baumia tell us? Okay, you in this country, what's it on DNA prescription from President Mahama? And for that, the catcher say Jacob ne Caleb ne one wine. IMF no ye ni ebe chiro omo nyomeye. Omo catcher said no IMF today, no IMF tomorrow. And then you are telling us the IMF. I mean, if you look at this government, anybody like that could be here. You simply have no excuse. Honorable Japa, go and check cocoa. Cocoa production is reduced by 30%. You check it, check the Bank of Ghana's figures. Even crude oil like a mamu, 3 oil fuels. Bako won't even for this count. On the contrary, from 2019 to date, crude oil production is reduced by 32%. And you still have the temerity to even make that comparison. But maybe the Dennis says to say, there were 8 years of NPP, 8 years of NDC. Let's compare. What was the average exchange rate? Even growth rate. The growth rate, the average, NDC does better than you. When you compare the 8 years of NDC and the 8 years of NPP. And you compare it to media. Not about you do so much papa. But the reality is that a nominal
yes.
800,000 people, almost 1 million, have fallen into the poverty bracket. Instead of you to admit that you got things right, they're wrong, no. Excuses. Are you not tired of excuses in 8 years into your administration?
Obusa question be
8 years into your administration, you are still giving excuses.
Obusa question be sir. Tell the Ghanaian people, sir, because under them, because of a global pandemic, they had to rush to IMF. Under Momo IMF, no, why did you go? Because there was no global pandemic. One side,
what does a global pandemic do? Any revenues and expenditure? No, catch me. Any revenues and expenditure?
For the pandemic, in dealing with the pandemic, Anna.
The effect of the pandemic is that because of the pandemic, now affecting fiscal policy in terms of revenue and expenditure.
Why did you go to IMF? Why did you?
You go there because you say you don't have money to service your debt. You've defaulted. That is the only reason why you went to IMF. The only reason why you went to IMF is that you defaulted on your payments. So what you need here, we call IMF.
Yeah, that is for MPP for what CCN, right?
That is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but how about NDC and so? I think that's his question. Someone
go and look at 2016. Yeah. Look at the financial figures. When you had the global meltdown in 2015-16, it affects your revenues. And I can tell you, let me open the 2016 budget, the projections that were made in terms of oil revenue, cocoa revenue, and the outtrends. Oil dropped by more than 50% in terms of the revenues. And when you have a sharp decline in revenues, it affects your fiscal policy. So you can't just say, yare. No. Then you're not doing economics. You rather do say, Sikasa and Baye, Sikasa and Koye. In 2020, with the global pandemic, this country made a profit. Okay? Reading the budget, I mean, answer say, a Bosana was bought 2020 Ninano. Yen chair until 2026. It's in this budget. President Mama never be chair Takano. 13 billion debt at Dahono. On chair 2026. President Mama and chair. And the one you say global pandemic, it is meaningless. And that is why I say, everyone that's in a global pandemic. Cote d'Ivoire, our next door neighbors, global pandemic. They have global pandemic. Have they declared bankruptcy? In Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, Ghana is the most indebted country to this multilateral. You can check the data. Ghana is the most indebted. In terms of debt distress, we are number 1 In terms of exchange rate, we are number one. If you count global pandemic, how come say all the indicators, inflation, exchange rate, unemployment, depreciation, last. If you hear the rent, yes, admitted there is a global pandemic, fine. How come Ghana alone, our situation is so wet? And I'm telling you, when it comes to the energy sector, the figures Egyapa is changing now is completely inaccurate. Because I've just proven to you, say in 2020, only revenues alone from this energy sector will complain, you got $1.4 billion. That outpays any other debt you are talking of. Workers are problems in terms of liabilities, the assets and the revenues you go from that same energy sector is far more. 2023, savings from your gas against crude oil importation, over 1.3 billion. So you just don't sit and say, oh, you could hear a tank offer. You could hear a tank offer. Tank offer, that's what I was saying. And the gas in the crowd worker to take operation is not enough. If you are shedding load. So now is neither here nor there. And in 2021, you came and told us, say, you're here, you're a friend of COVID levy. You're here, you're a friend of financial sector levy. Oh, we know you're here,
yeah, you're here.
What can I say? You're here, no, I am IMF. That's what you told us. What portion do you want to hear? So you're here, financial sector levy, energy sector recovery levy, any new levy. You're here, pollution levy. You clear all these levies, and no other stabilize the economy. You clear now. Then you came back in 2022, say, yes, and clear e-levy. You clear and also. And you still default and you go to IMF. And when we tell you that, despite all this assurance, you call IMF, you won't share. With you, who was energy, COVID. Then why did you make us pay all these levies? Look, you got it wrong. You engage in mere propaganda, you've lost it. Ghanaians are suffering, Ghanaians are struggling, and electricity prices are gone up, fuel price is gone up, transportation next announces will move to by 15 to 20%. Expect that from next week, the cost of living will even be higher. And with where we are going, therefore, we've had enough of this level of super incompetence. This government must be booted out. So the next time you try to move back, now you move forward, one cut a solution, and when you fail, you turn around and move 8 years back and attempt to blame President Mahama. Then you have no business dealing in government.
Okay, Mema Egyapa Bamba, Musa this question now for Memfa Egyapa Emrem on Neoma Minister Neka said or more a year to ameliorate, the effect of this economic hardship on Ghanaians. He speaks about incremental, ABBA, leap, school feeding, and all of those, and makes the point, say, omua omusika ekemu in banking sector cleanup, aban echa sikebi omodebeboa astarte etietia ede amawon. And also, as far as revenue generation for government is concerned, he makes the point, say, Omo shese road tolls any adeno omo the integrated management system be besanya bar for the collection of road tolls. That should be good news, no? JJ.
This just tells you something, Obi. Sometimes you two are buying for Omunchi. Okay, road tolls is okay. Mekaipa. And never manifest. What has changed? There may change. If a government is meeting its revenue target, it's on course, will you attempt to introduce the road tolls again? You are not getting it. Getting it. Say you are not getting it. Now what do you say? But why don't you want to overburden Ghanaians again? Because I know can get what you are back. You know who say and I'm a boy. So road tolls here the bed and never driver for. Poor boy thing, the beer boy thing. And the road tolls are your tomb for a month, A one and I will find the apple. I want to buy we are Obi. You're too full. Won't you? No, okay, it's not. No, Samba. And a Japan energy sector bills. So after more financing, I just look at the data. Over $300 million. Asking me, in terms of capacity payment. If you have the data, have the latest data as account. The capacity payments in yeah. Why would you not say you have enough capacity? Why are you paying the capacity payment for after? Look, Egyapa, get it right. Reflect on your abysmal performance. Look at all those things. Banking sector for you.
Yes.
Government position has always been from 2020, when we started this at the finance committee in parliament, all the statements about what has changed? 4 months elections. All the polls show that President Mama is cruising the victory. 54%. Dr. Bamia goes to town and they keep asking him so Musika. Let's come and announce something. This is nothing but an attempt to hoodwink Ghanaians. Incident where I work at the financial sector. Wasn't it before 2020? For 5 years to 6 years, you couldn't pay anything for them. 4 months to elections, all of a sudden, what's your 1.5 billion? Look, it's hogwash.
Oh no, Obwa say minister ain't me major parliament and Kasa Bresika anyway. This a mid-year.
You know why I say so? This is not an estimate, Anamibwa.
Yes.
This is a statement. Say an estimator, then you come and you change the figures and show us Hana Wateso, Hana Wanya new money, Hana Wodeko. We are perusing the budget. Look,
yeah, but when I say when your cabinet, I say Speaker, cabinet has also granted approval for the disbursement of an additional 1.5 billion Ghana cedis to provide relief and bailout for those whose funds have been locked up in the fund management companies. In the Ahwano Saika said the establishment of a framework for the reintroduction of road and bridge tolls in 2025. These are things a cabinet ama approval for.
And I may say, this cabinet has existed for the past 6 years. 1 month into elections, all of a sudden, cabinet has realized there's only 1.5 billion. Take it from me. Elections never. They announced this. They have been bringing up when you saw. You've had more than 6 years old. Then come back to Yaya. I can tell you, say, okay, in the Japan, 1.5 billion, even on Mokate.
Yeah, and
because there's no new supplementary.
Japan is a member of cabinet.
Even on Mokate, or Kate, 1.5 million, then a certain sector will suffer.
Okay.
Even on Mokate.
Let's Japan answer that. Japan Pochon may where?
Of course, Minister of Finance or the details in the schedules baba. And the pay mocking can you a budget speech, right? And see obviously on the document number, then we'll know where he is realigning the approval for the year to get the 1.5 million to pay that. Now, Obi, Mr. Or to bail out, I think. Then ordinarily, a investment, you bear the risk of the investment collapsing. Now, one kind of fund management companies or those who were with the banks are about consolidating the show miscansion. It is one our fund management companies and are banned because of revocation of one license will lose money investment, ban more on bailout initially of 50,000 Ghana across board.
Yes.
And subsequently, because of the representations we make out of 4 billion or a ban on additional bailout of 1.5 billion. Okay, and see that's it. Now, NBC for and then John Jinapor is bold to talk about oil, crude oil. Obi. President Kufuor or discover oil in commercial quantities. description of what the man and this is what the man product or the parliament so what chamber okay
yeah McKay
what are you
ebidum kai adwengo na ade
what are you adwengo they talk about crude oil and it's surprising what a MPP abandon the Dago offers the Inca oil. In fact, it is rather Mr. Mahama no offer Yanke and oil reserves. Then the petroleum agreements are Sankofa 10 Jubilee. Na no can win now. Or ye MPP abandon not time. No one signed the agreement in now. Not one single petroleum agreement that ended to sign or the oil Abagana Kuma as we speak. Yet they want to take credit because program of work after discovery or after the signing of the petroleum agreement it took time before actual discovery and production was made, and that coincided with when they were in government. If we claim they want no what is your MPP aban. Oh, one fire the crowd.
A simple F.
And one fire the wonderful. Obi, IMF, MPP aban timer when you know NDC for will make a call the Zamaya in the economy of the Barroco young call IMF. Abanka don't call. And for good reason. Because Aban have indicated that look, IMF the prescription of the man. Until rather no, it's basically cut your expenditure and increase your revenue. So that finances are balanced. And we're going to take our own steps to raise additional revenue, now your cutting expenditure. And now, December 2021, Eco Parliament will present the 2022 budget. Can operator propose revenues and expenditures? Parliament approve the budget no. We approve appropriation authorization. They won't spend up to the amount they are approve on. Now, Parliament led by NDC will refuse, contrary to Section 22 of the Public Financial Management Act, to pass some of the revenue measures. Obviously, investors will invest in war economy now. They look at your budget and we forecast yes, Aban is capable of paying more return than one can win. This is an economy that I should be interested in investing in. Young pass revenue measure by 31st December of 2021 or 2022. I can't remember exactly when it was. Was the consequence of investors pulling out their war resources out of Ghana in the first quarter of 2023. Okay. And Russian-Ukraine war, so boom. It was not until March that finally Eco Parliament approved e-levy, by which time we had completely been overtaken by events led by the NDC. Yet they turn around and say that
also the value of suspended debt payment. But
I'm talking of why we went to IMF. It was after we went to IMF that we suspended when we took the decision to go to IMF.
No, you said you suspended debt payment in your IMF, and I was asking which date did you give?
It was 2022.
20?
Was it 2022?
Yeah, December and you suspended debt
December of 2022, right?
Yes.
Sure. Okay.
That's why we are taking the decision in May to go to IMF.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But the e-levy was 2021 December 2022 budget. It was that reckless act that caused on investor flows out of Ghana. OBK, first quarter. Just before the Russian-Ukraine war started in February, I believe. So then government was left with no option than to do the responsible thing and go to IMF because in
Obenya time.
Okay. I just want to do with only the e-levy.
Okay.
arising only out of that act, it became necessary for us to go to the IMF. And I'm saying that since the IMF, it's clear. Yes. And the debt default, sometimes though, Bobby, me have worked in a bank before for many years. Restructuring of facilities are customers who are contracted. Businessman be unusual. Because circumstances can cause you to restructure your obligation. And we admit that we have gone into certain circumstances. It made it impossible for us to pay yen debt. In fact, you're supposed to be yen debt now. Well, what it meant was that yen to be BBM. In the Abba yen to the table and negotiate, restructure debt now. What is criminal about it? How is that mismanagement? There was a force majeure, global crisis that impacted our economy. In fact, Mr. Mahama, during his lectures in Harvard, admitted the impact of COVID on the entire African economy, not single as Ghana, the whole Ghana by mismanagement. Okay. Look, JJ, let's be truthful to ourselves. I am not saying that the situation that you find yourself in economically, is the best. Because if it was, because I'm paying on Jintum there, we are in a crisis. Vice President on Jintum, Finance Minister on Jintum. But there was a reason why we went to the situation that we went in. Of course, for your politics in the engine too. You would want to, as you did in 2008, 2009, could win Ghanaians to vote for you. In Sebakana, win. But the greater majority of people will know and see. And it's telling in Dr. Baumiani's trip in the northern part of Ghana that Kokwana's stories now and this vote China out to know. Ghanaians are not buying it. Obi, I'm sure you've seen the videos. The numbers of people who are coming out to meet the vice president. It tells you they are not buying the cock and bull stories. They recognize and I'm paying the claim that look, this would require some sacrifices on the part of every Ghanaian. But then the time we'll take decisions, he took it in the best interest of all of us and did the kind of things that he did. Consequences, it's obvious. We all face the brunt of the hardship that we are going through. But clearly, in the mid-year review statement, Finance Minister delivered a clear account of where we are on each and every single economic indicator. And designing Ghanaians now, yes, we are not out of the woods, but we are certainly rebounding. Our debt exchange and restructuring has gone well. We've gotten some relief and some deferment of payment of our debt. That then gives us space to invest in critical sectors of the economy. About to spare growth. We create employment. Abano invest in SMEs up to $8.5 billion. Road construction, all sorts of investment that the government is doing. Those are assets too. Let's not Mr. Jinapor confuse Ghana for, and many of them cannot be confused anyways. That Abana no new investment be our Obi, read the statement, just the concluding section for him, and tell me that the Summer Finance Minister are only no Royal.
Okay, my
very well. JJ, yes. Yeah, I think JJ will address that. JJ, in your answer, you address the investment bill. Yes.
With the Egyapa, who say e-levy minority and creative problem in the IMF, and I never know.
Yeah, in Tiama returns and a penny, and we have no option than to go to the IMF.
Let me know that here now over 80 MPs from the majority side. Because of e-levy. Now let's face it, Meboa catching the post e-levy, a tribunal. And then a majority for the party unique and for that. And then e-levy. So e-levy, yes, then I can be TV. I don't know about me. I think I'm too much to make you through. And you also can do listen to yourself.
Yes, of course I do.
If e-levy is the savior, e-levy is the panacea to Ghana's problems. E-levy is the IMF. Why are you at pains
I said
to distance Dr. Bawumia from e-levy.
No, Obi, Mama on
no, Obi, I come and make any boy.
No, Mesa.
Dr. Bawumia can say young man no e-levy free.
Osi Onya obey yefio, yes.
Why not?
Never, Ghana for Muntie. E-levy not the Egyapa you good. I don't think that's solve the problem, no.
Obi.
No majority for you
Okay.
Because of e-levy.
Mesa, Mema wrap up now. Mpocho meba.
Asama McCann are very, very simple. McCann, Aban took a decision there. Young call IMF.
Sure.
But rather no, and I can say we raise revenue internally. Now, then cut expenditure. It's one of the revenue measures Aban introduced in the 2022 budget was e-levy.
Yes.
Umbrano Public Financial Management Act, Section 22. Also, by 31st December, government shall pass the budget, the Appropriations Act, and every revenue measure that is programmed to meet the expenditures in the budget. By 31st December, Parliament, led by the NDC, had passed the budget, approved it, approved the appropriation, and refused to pass the e-levy, which was a key revenue measure that had been outlined. Post that, between January and March, there was a run on this economy. True or false?
Very well.
You made your point. Obi.
Very well. JJ,
because I think in top on.
What are we talking about?
Honorable Maso,
can I make my point now?
Yeah, JJ,
allow him to come in so that Ghanaians will appreciate the flawed argument Egyapa is making. What was the dispute? Yes, he lived in Amodebana, Meboa. What was not the argument?
So why did you approve the budget?
We approved it, and on the floor we stated cut down expenditure.
Why did you?
We stated it on the floor.
Why
did you live in projection mama at ebema mono 6 billion no munya. You can say munya 6 billion no. It's not realistic. You are rather doing your kind of double counting. It's in the mouse cannot. We stated it there. And said because of that we won't support it. Mostly and not a bit severe. 1 year, 2 years down the lane, more majority for no. I will do press conference can add now e-levy and we it's in through as finance minister. I mean this is on record. And I'm just saying e-levy no think a year. Dr. Bawumia can't say it there. He's part of the government too. He couldn't convince them to e-levy. Young Tomano, we need to understand what they e-levy. He, Dr. Bawumia cannot even convince the people today. The president, e-levy and free. We should suffer the e-levy. Say a two of money we are. No, they e-levy no. Look, this government is the most confused government. Now, I'm saying a tier for a making meaning from what Egyapa is talking about. And what kind of analysis is this?
Obi.
So you knew e-levy was good?
Obi.
Today there is no good? Then we were right after all.
Obi.
And the e-levy are telling you
Obi.
JJ, finally on the facts, there is evidence to show investment, Bebre, road, hospitals, and you cannot just say, Aban we are broken without looking at the assets of Umoja.
Minya, who manage the economy is simple. You manage the economy, say the Department of Today we are bankrupt. That is the position. And I have here Bank of Ghana's latest Monetary Policy Committee report. If you go to page maybe 2 number 3, table 2.1, your trade balance, your cocoa are declining by 62%. Cocoa, 62. You should be worried, Egyapa. That is the bulk of your economy. And once you may see a positive trade balance, that trade balance, your oil, your trade balance are declining from 862, 2023, and 392. We are in big trouble. When your trade balance declines this way, it affects your balance of payment. Meanwhile, you share your debt crowd, so the capital account is looking good because we are not servicing our debt. But the negative side is because investors have lost confidence. No, they are not bringing money into the economy. Then, matter this illegal COVID, a Trump will get realistic. Over the last one with the money data there, it doesn't lie. This is page 7 of 57. Table 1.2, monetary policy stance of selected central banks. Where your Bank of Ghana? Ghana, South Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, Zambia, Morocco, Angola, Egypt. Policy rate, yenyadie. Inflation, yenyadie. Real rate, yenyadie. GDP growth, real rate. Ghana 3.1, Nigeria 3.8, Kenya 4.8, Zambia 4.8, Morocco 4.8. Egypt 6.8. Debt to GDP. Bank of Ghana latest report. Ghana 92, South Africa 71, Nigeria 39, Kenya 68, Angola 40, Morocco 7. Bank of Ghana and so when I say Egyapa, don't just sit here and say COVID. Yes, COVID. What are these countries doing? They appear to be better than us. And what can we learn from them so that next time we won't fall into this ditch? But say what there, it may be a blame game. Go back and blame Mahama. Go back and blame Mahama. You won't get it, matter.
Very
and
well.
I think you people should change this narrative. The Ghanaians are tired of it.
JJ, me da say, honorable Mr. Mpocho, me yes.
On your one, the vice president, or you recommend? Now, the president, or agree with him, doesn't mean that all those to not initiate the policy when it becomes Amambina. Mr. Mahama was president. On the ground, they want to know. Also, want to abandon obey XY. The man can want to maneuver that is not often going to know why and the other. So that argument that Dr. Baumia cannot have a mind of his own. Now, in the vice presidency, now make recommendation. Why don't Kenya Nanakuwa do 11 this year? He's not a president. Executive presidency resides with Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Onona ban na Dr. Bambu Bamo Obon. In any event, Obi argument I may no JJ minimum not party, but mischievous. All I'm saying is that by 31st December, Young passed the revenue measures to support the budget and appropriations that you approved. No, it had consequences on our economy. Did it not? Obi. So it doesn't matter whether 1 year after the fact, E-levy was not performing. The very day now you meet the statutory requirement of approving the revenue measures, the budget and the appropriations by 31st December, it had huge negative impact on our economy. Investors started the way you want to out because there's no assured revenue. But after the E-levy and all the brouhaha that was associated with it, Aban realized that the performance was not as satisfactory. By which time the harm had already been caused. This was rocket science. Obi.
Honorable.
It's not rocket science. So it's not a question of Obi justify E-levy at the time, but those were the measures Aban were outlined in the budget. That look, give me authorization to raise this additional revenue. Now, some back budget now approve. I mean, say more approve. Immediately, it had the impact negative on your economy. Investors was how the way you want to out. Now, Russia's worker attack Ukraine. Container prices moved from $3,500 to $15,000-$20,000. I don't know who got the fault. Obi, and I talk about the fault. Those were the realities of the global economy that we found ourselves in. Obviously, a peculiar situation as a country would make young response another impact on COVID on us, different from Nigeria, Togo, Benin. I don't know why they keep making the comparison. Nigeria, they didn't have energy crisis. Togo did not have energy crisis. Benin did not have it. But Ghana did. If we say, I'm more crisis be or be COVID pay, and then we know what underlying conditions now or affect one kesa. Obi.
Yeah.
COVID obey. It was the people who had underlying conditions. No, unfortunately, one people was on. Ghana had underlying conditions in the energy sector debt. Okay. Kenoforiaka had introduced below the line reporting that look, he only regular revenue and expenditure budget running regularly. These are extraordinary expenditures when we incur to meet the necessities of the time. And so in order for you to assess us, no, yes, it's part of our debt, we recognize. But in treating it, no, distinguish the two so that we can all see that, oh, Abanobe, no budget all run on a day-by-day basis only. How we saw the system. So you can have a proper assessment. So in fact, but for these ills that Mr. Mahama left, which is a matter of fact, on the Obi can blame Obi or can find the blame on Mr. Mahama. It's true that the energy crisis and the debt of Mr. Mahama Jeno, Akufo-Addo have to deal with it. Banking sector problem with Jay, Akufo-Addo have to deal with it. They sought to resolve the banking sector problem when they were in government. Okay. Through liquidity support. I don't know what they chopped it like there was no tomorrow. They gave monies from the public purse to their cronies. What this cannot. Okay. So that's not the issue. But I'm saying that Aban takes the responsibility. Osande, Abanuma, these difficulties are real, no doubt. But I'll go back again. Finance Minister was outlined steps that you take to deal with that problem. And it is obvious to any objective Ghanaian that to deal with the problem. Yes, also how our brain now is but in there is clear future that we all can see. The abandon yaman konmo to yado no be neduma or start area. So I'm not interested in arguing with John Jinapor on all those numbers. The reality is that yes, we've gone through a lot of crises. Obi, Kofuoni investment have been impacted. I agree. And I empathize with all of them, including myself. Atmasa. Pensioners, one ska can we now delay in coupon payments. Yes, they've brought huge difficulties to people. But that is a reality that the government has to deal with. Because our bank there don't deal with those problems. What would have been the consequences? It probably would have been dire. And I'm not interested in arguing on but the point of the matter is that I want to watch to Abama one back. Yeah, with that. And with the question, maybe send the reason the IMF will to me you are now.
No, okay, there now global issues.
Global issues.
Yeah.
And they were competent to deal with global issues. Akufo-Addo is not competent to deal with global issues, right? Obi. Obi. They had a global issue. Mr. Mahama in the State of the Nation address occasion and the meltdown in China.
Yes.
Is the reason why he had to go to IMF. In his competence, best performing president ever. Meltdown in China took him to IMF. But Akufo-Addo, who has been saddled with a global pandemic that killed millions of people, goes to IMF and he is super incompetent. Hey, Madam Logic, you have a school of shell. Because me sure the philosophy element of formal logic here or Adwa Kambu class was sure that logic or work in this manner. Obiana, I Adwa Kambu class.
May I fellow free elective Adwa Kambu?
Absolutely. Element of formal logic. One man says that, oh, I took you to IMF because there was a meltdown in my revenue. But I am competent. Vote for me. Let me come back. But the man whom I left the IMF program with, who managed and met all the conditions and exited, because of global crisis, he has gone to IMF. ono or super incompetent if you want from amebra dem go kwana so sorry have to be that obi kwana so sorry have to be that I leave it in the able and best judgment of the good people of this country. Must say, them Kwekwana story he had to be the 2008. What can some be good president Kufona Bando? Okotubo Riasono, or Baketian or politics. And they mismanage this economy to the point where this government has had to deal with a lot. In the midst of all of that, look at the list of achievements. Obi.
Honorable Mate. Medase, Yebesani Akasebio. That's the Honorable Andrew Egyapa Mercer, or Minister in charge of Tourism and Creative Arts. And I'm say no AD and Como earlier, Mote the Honorable John Jinapor Enka, on a ranking member on the Mines and Energy Committee and a member of the Finance Committee in Parliament, MP for Yape Kosogo constituency, and also Moten County. A free Yami Admochna Konubi breaking this statement down. Which read the Midyear Fiscal Policy Review Statement for the year 2024. Our Finance Minister, they call Parliament, he be breaking it down. Na Munina of interest, of course, as we do always. The road sector. And roads minister no eka se ebi oho aban ewie ebi oho nso a eguso a koso, so we can get your feedback more and more communities, more and more regions, if indeed you've seen work on some of these roads. And you would delve into them a bit more tomorrow, God willing. But Enra, I received a message from one of our listeners. Now, Bengazi, your car no picture no ready, and nipa no message ana ekahone heart breaking. In the message say muwebre na ebehwe na emmoa bi oho a yede beboa yenua na yetumi ede aboa no. It's really heartbreaking because oye a physically challenged person. Na ose, hi Obi, my name is Joseph, a physically challenged person who is disabled in the legs, in the neck, and uses a wheelchair. Now ose, I bought a modified car to aid my movement, but someone stole it right from my house on Wednesday 26th June at dawn at the University of Ghana Staff Village. I would be most grateful if you could share it on your powerful show for me, please. Car no Sea Blue Hyundai Elantra. Registration number ni GC 413922. And the car no any GC 413922. Now ose esinifio ewo University of Ghana Staff Village. Ena obi ababe wia car no. Chale ba man for su 3 more than pow. Na ni pay or you be or a physically challenged, that is in the night in the auto wheelchair mu. And or say wabuabu escano a car we turn 120,000 Ghana cedis. That's in Kane 1.2 billion. 1.2 billion in Kane. Obia wedi dem e one night. Nkaka waye juma tususu kakra timi atoka. Onya car, it was a car we onchi ni 1 month impo. Or the kosi if you be a baby car netuko. Charlie. And over YouTuber any Facebook live stream na ube hu car no. Charlie it was a nipo toma no kipi car ni neat kama spray hon neat. 1.2 billion 120,000 Ghana cedis. And a yenuano eto kai. And na obia ko wia car no poto efinifie. Ewo University of Ghana Staff Village. Rehosem na Oshe how ye message. In fact, wakwaya report ewo police or the police report no extract ni nyina etwa ede asende ye. And yes, James Kwabena Bomfe doctor ebusa about police. Why report to the police? In fact, Bibia wa sende ye Ghana police there the stationer or the echo, you know, office of the station officer, Legon police station, and or the in fact, or reportee 27th June, car no you be the 26th June, in the 27th June, and okoye report na ewo police. Ja, guy na so aye she. Chese obia wedi dem won the 9 oti wheelchair mu atu susu kakran from adwuma oye 120,000. Oh, Charlie, I'm for 3 more day too much. Hey, Charlie. Ain't me patch say when you book car so baby a sea blue registration number near GC 413922 GC 413922 me patcho obetimi a report here my police station be ana say obe friend number we 0247 424 756 0247 424 756 0247 424 756 yemwa yenuano na chale 120,000 Ghana cedis pa what media talk up and obi be we are aja enya asem papa enti Joseph we de kafra na yebe de betumi bia se yebebo hu dewuru ama omanfo nso etimi aboa ma yahwehwe kai Hyundai Elantra sea blue color na sea blue kama oba ye Facebook ne YouTube live stream na wo be hu ya rehosem papa enti yemmoa yenua no yemmoa yenua me ra ho from enra me nsaka message no me ra ho enye amanfo bibi trimo eden dodo enti we will end the show on that very, very sad note. But my main car say Ekosiisen is sponsored by Tridol Express. Shipping is made simple, fast, and reliable. My life insurance, almost say, senya my way, cause no way. EcoBank Ghana, a better way, a better Africa. Imperial General Assurance, Thontina 74, and a Franco Trading Enterprise. Umunyina eba unim say. Imperial General Assurance said they bring you the collision insurance policy. Yes, now we give you insurance beyond the road in the collision insurance policy. Now, collision insurance policy with Imperial General now amount protection in the event of a collision with another car or an object in the car. No, or they copim another car. I say, or they copim duebimu, or they copim baby. Imperial General Insurance, amount insurance to cover that. And they will repair your damaged car parts resulting from the collision. Say, be out the copy me and the car no bumper and I say, you better repair my come. Hospitalization benefit if you are admitted beyond 3 days. And say, okay, ne copy me go to hospital beyond 3 days and so on the benefit. Yes, you need to be involved in an accident to benefit. You say, be out car no ne copy me. Now one kasa ye car owner na wa insurance policy na won take car ne mu bia onka ho so now wo car nim na car ne pem ye ne we pray aje wa to hospital beyond 3 days ye be ma benefit and all third parties so benefit eka ho it's amazing. And so whether you're a taxi driver, a truck driver, and as well a private car owner, collision insurance with your sign up for the collision insurance motor policy from Imperial. Call us on 0577 667 436 0577 667 436 or talk to your broker or any of our agents across the country for further details. You can also follow us on our social media handles. Terms and conditions apply. Collision insurance, insurance beyond the road. Imperial General Assurance, solid protection. Ekosiisen Suni, Ehaya Sempa FM. There's this brand new song from Obapa Christie. In fact, Kwabena featuring Obapa Christie.